Network. It's time for our Friday session to talk about business. Yeah, I can't even I can't even begin to tell you how much I appreciate you not thinking about how I didn't start your music. I know, I know that the copyright people are proud of me today because I make it a habit to infringe on somebody's right, somebody's copyright. Yes, I do. I love it. I love it when they go, oh, oh, you did that. Yes, I did. Because what? I make sure that you don't have commercials during our time. Because this is sponsored by JB Bryan Financial Group. I sponsor it. My firm, my registered investment advisory firm, is committed to bringing the knowledge. We do the workshops on Wednesday night. I do these workshops on Friday mornings, our personal private workshops. And then this is our noonday. And then on Sunday mornings, I like to have a discussion that is scripture-based, God-based, integrity-based, G and Yame-based, that is on the fifth principle of AfroEconomics, including God into every aspect of our life. 10 principles of Afroeconomics, not just one. And the core of it is God. The seventh principle is entrepreneurship. I call it in the book the fearless entrepreneur. And make sure that you get the book AfroEconomics, Our Black Wealth Indeed Matters. And that's why I love this time to just talk about entrepreneurship. And sometimes at noon, we talk about health. And all the time, I like to talk about health because it's such a big time. So it's such a big part of our wealth is our health. So because our health is our wealth. I mean, it truly is. So much of your money is spent on your health if you don't take care of it. So if you want to protect your dollars, start by protecting your health. Statistically, the research shows that about 250,000 and this is old data, at least $250,000 of retirement money is spent on health, uncovered health concerns. You know, I mean, that's pretty scary. I appreciate you, Miss Davis, coming into the studio. You know, you are such a committed, you are the epitome of a non-complacent person. That was the topic this morning. We're talking about not being complacent. You know, that is my commitment to not be too comfortable. You know, I think that we get too comfortable. And a key part of the entrepreneur mindset is to keep it moving, to not get too comfortable, to always come up with new ideas, to always stay creative, to always stay motivated, to always, to always be in contact with your customers, with your employees, to always, protect yourself, protect your business, protect your customers. Always. And, because if you get complacent, that you're putting your guard down. So the entrepreneur mindset, also a key attribute that comes out of audacity, tenacity, willpower is you can't be complacent and have those attributes. That's a non-complacent person. So it would start with like, it's just thinking about, audacity. When you think about audacity, like, the audacity, we think about like something negative, like, how dare you? Isn't that like, like, how would you say something like that? They think, generally when you say audacity, it's like, they're saying that you're being rude or there's something wrong with you. That person is out of line. But if you look up the meaning of audacity, it's actually a willingness to take bold risk. Audacity is a good thing if you're willing to take bold risks. Now, to some people, if you're that person and you're willing to take chances and to take bold chances, they might not like that. That might irritate them. But that is something that is needed if you want to survive as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a professional. You have to have an entrepreneur mindset in corporate America now. Even if you're working for someone, they want you to carry yourself as an enterprise in their corporate environment. When you're creating your own corporate environment, you have to carry yourself as an enterprise. So you have to have the audacity to take that chance of this creative idea I have, and you're going to do it. Take that chance. That's at the core of every idea, every successful person that you can think of. They are, if you look at how they got where they are, there was something, somehow they took a bold risk. There was audacity involved. I don't know, I can't think of anybody that is successful that didn't have some bold risk that was involved in it. Now, I'm not talking about like little success, I'm talking about, big success. Can you think of when you think of, someone that took on bold risk, Ms. Davis, who do you think of?
If you mean as far as business is concerned, I'd say people like Steve Jobs, some of the higher ups. Now, if we think outside of business, Martin Luther King he reigns first in my head and in my mind. You have taken on a bold risk to be him or to be like him, Now, let's get back to business. Kind of like Elon Musk, probably risk and, maybe even some shafty underhandedness. I got to say that, pour that into the pot. But people like that as example.
Good, great point. Like, and do you think, and it's interesting that when you had to think about it, you had to think about when you thought about our bold risk and successful people, we had to go to social issues for us. And then you were able to go to business issues. You didn't really have Black people to quickly go to reference for, unfortunately. And, we have to go through an extra effort to get to that, but we really don't, on that level. Like, those are like, you went to extreme, you know, levels, though we do have, successful people, but we don't know exactly their bold risk story. And I sometimes wish that our people, would tell more about their bold risk story. Because like I want to know more about Oprah, how she got to the billionaire, because the majority community knows more about the inside story, about the transactions on the production company and how the deal was done than we know. And our community really needs to understand about the shares and the production and how the industry is done and corporate formation and selling and things like OWN. Though OWN is named after Oprah, she doesn't have controlling interest. And her ownership into that OWN network is very little. Like Discovery is really the controlling interest on it because of a contract that they had. They decided that she wasn't running it well, so she lost control of it. So Discovery took over, but we don't know that. Like most of our community doesn't understand how these contracts work. We're just watching Oprah Network, and we don't understand that she doesn't own it anymore. Own it. And we need to, start understanding how our was watching like an interview with Jay-Z, was talking with, I don't know, may have been Kevin Hart or someone, but he was talking about that, like how we don't, they were just talking about it, but I was saying like we don't have enough discussions on that level where we get to hear it. And he was talking about like some wine companies that he's involved in, but he doesn't have controlling interest of it. Mm-hmm. But he owns enough of it that it's significant. And I was thinking to myself, while he's sitting here talking about these $1 million deals, his wife is releasing an album sitting naked on a horse. And I was like, we're more interested in her sitting naked on a horse on the album release than we are listening to him, interview and talk about something that is a much bigger deal. But we're not taught enough about how important the deal making is. And so that we can give that discussion the value that it deserves. We only know the consumer end, the naked and buying and the transactional end, and but we have to get on the deal making end and get more involved in entrepreneurship.
Someone was trying to explain to me, like Cat Hughes and WOM. Yeah, I think she spearheaded it, what have you, the controlling interest. I think if I understand this correctly, she doesn't have that anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, you can mute yourself. You were referring to like with Radio One I think they lost controlling interest, I think a long time ago. But yeah, they're I think just managing, or his son just running the company. But but yes, we have to kind of and then I think they've broken it down into different subsidiaries and sub parts, because then you have the radio and then you have the TV, and then you have, and then you have the stock, and then, the, and, so you're right. We have to, and now we have the casino part, and then we have MGM involved in there somewhere. So before we know it, MGM might actually own Radio One, and be involved in these casino deals, backdooring it through Radio One and making it look like it's a black business. No. So the there's a lot, going on, especially down in Virginia. It was done that way. A lot of it was a white casino company that used Radio One to present it. And that it was that Radio One was going to be in control, but actually the money was coming, when from this, mostly from this white company that was going to really be controlling everything. And but it was presented like this is going to be, a black business thing. And so it's but if the people really read it, and that was my thing, but and some relationships got harmed by me being so honest about that. But it was like, is this really, the way we should be presenting this? Because are we being honest? I believe that a big part, everything should be honest. We shouldn't allow ourselves as minority businesses, as black businesses, to do that. We should, be very careful. But a lot of times when you become a marketing company, you could start saying that you're marketing something, like that you're marketing something. So you could be, there's a thin line there where you could be saying, we're being paid to market it. So because you're doing the marketing, you can present it like it's a black business thing. But that's not what black business means. Like when you say this is a black business deal, people think that it's a black business. Not just the marketing of it being a black business, but people think that it's a black business. You know what I'm saying? Like we think it's a black business that's benefiting from it completely. Not 1%, not 2%. It's kind of, we assume that it's 100% when they say black business, but we shouldn't. A lot of times it's only 1%. It's like they can put on a label organic, or like when they put on that movie that came out where it had like that movie about warrior woman king, was a woman king, and people thought it was true because it said based on truth or something like that, but based on historical something, but that doesn't make it true. That didn't make it true. And then people were like, it's not true. No, it's not true. It's not a true story. So to this day, some people think it's a true story because they said based on, some truth. But they know that they put that on there to mislead people. They know that because they knew that most people will assume that it's a true story because it says based on truth.
Well, the portions of it was true, right?
But that doesn't make it true. Like I can like I can do a movie and I can put in the March on Washington. That doesn't make the movie a true story.
I see.
That's what they did. So that, that's very important that that we understand when you're in business, what are you going to stand for? What are you going to stand for? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. If I say something is free, it's free. It's free, it's free. It's free. This is free. It's not going to pop up and say, enter your Cash App in a few seconds. You know what I'm saying? It's free. It's free. But that happens all the time to us. Like, and but they just said it was free. Like, they said it was true. And then you find out when you grow up and it's like, and you go, oh, they said it was black owned. It's like, no, well, no, not that. The front desk was black owned. But this is not. No, so. Sad but true. Good afternoon, Mr. Newell. Good afternoon, Ms. Dixon. Yes, indeed. Good afternoon. Yeah, so we were talking about examples of look, that was an example of audacity where it's like, I can't believe you have the audacity to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's negative audacity. But I believe like entrepreneur mindset with a positive audacity. Look, that's the negative audacity. Where they had where they were bold risk of walking the borderline of, but look how that worked for them though. They brought that movie out. But look at Wakanda. It's like portions of true. And then you have all of these black people going around saying Wakanda forever, Congress people and everybody. You got the vice president. They got a thing on YouTube with Kamala. Wakanda forever, like, oh my goodness. Lord. Oh, like, it is amazing. So, if you can be an entrepreneur, some entrepreneur that came out, right, with that, had the audacity to come out with something borderline truth, and we bid it hook, line, and a sinker, and we are number two. They're gonna have a 3 and a 4 because this last one, they got a little baby, so the baby gonna grow up, and then the other guy probably had a baby out there. Look, now they perpetuating the thing about black men leaving babies behind. Look, and even in the movies.
Well, it looks like it's
have the audacity.
Yeah, it's selling.
It's selling. That's what I'm saying. They had the audacity and it worked, right? They took that risk and it worked. The audacity by definition, a willingness to take bold risk, to walk the line of this a bold-faced lie. But I'm going to do it anyway. What others wouldn't do, they did. Think about how many black folk would never do something like that. Out of respect for our history, out of respect for our history, they have to right now sit there and cry. They probably cry themselves to sleep. I mean, that hurts. And we're going around Wakanda forever, Wakanda parties, dressing our little babies up, this and that. Amazing. But that's that entrepreneur mindset. They said, I'm going to try it. I'm going to do it. They got that money. And they pushed it through. Hurts. But they pushed it through. Entrepreneurs will do stuff that others won't do. They'll do it. How many people told me, don't do AfroEconomics? They told me, black people will not invest. They told me, black people don't have money. Black people this, black people that. And I said, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to do it anyway. With me, they'll have more money. They'll have more. I'll make sure we have more. I'm going to do it anyway. I had the audacity. Oh, is that the name? Is that the name of Obama's book? Wasn't that the name of his book? Was Audacity of Hope? Wasn't that the name of his book? I think it was like The Audacity of Hope.
Not sure.
I think it was Obama's. I think Obama's book said it was named that. But I was even thinking about that when I chose that word. But I was just Ms. Dixon said it was. But I guess it was saying this, the nerve of us to have hope. He was, think of it in a negative way. I'm thinking of it in a positive way. That the entrepreneur has to have the willingness to take bold risks. Audacity in itself means the willingness to take bold risks. So the audacity of hope would mean the willingness to take the bold risk of hope. Yeah. So then let's think about the tenacity as an entrepreneur mindset. The quality or fact of being able to grip, hold on. Change is coming. Tenacity, don't give up, determination. The 9th principle of AfroEconomics, determination, tenacity. That's key. If we're going to have the audacity to take these bold risks, we have to stick with it. If I had said when the first person said, AfroEconomics, you're tripping, and just to forget about it, which I kind of did because I just kind of sat on it and didn't start finishing my book. It took me like 15 years, Miss Bussy, writing the book, and I was like, And then I finally hired this lady that I met with every week. And I said, I'm going to finish this book. And her job was to record me and type to make me sure I finished the book. So that's why the book sounds more like me talking than it sounds like me writing, because I talked. And she had to type it. And I was talking. And I was like, these are the things. These are the principles. And I remember her joking on my Adinkra symbols and what does that have to do with anything? And I was like, look, and nobody asked for your opinion. This is where I'm going. this is what I'm doing. You got to be bold. You got to have the audacity because you're going to have that. And you got to stick to it. What if I fold it? Now I love it. Each of my principles have an anchor symbol with them. You know? And it's like H. And then I took that and then and made it into my trophy for my member of the year. This is my first, but I mean for principle 1, for legacy, and I use this Sankofa symbol. But look at that. If I had like listened to her, and how God just keeps using it. Boom, boom, boom. And I have an audio book. I went in the studio and I just kept reading. It took me like 9 hours one day. And they said in the studio, they said, I've never seen anybody just do the whole book in one day. That's tenacity. That's tenacity. Yes. Thank you, Ms. Davis. Yes, Ms. Boss. So you go to audible.com, you look up AfroEconomics, the Audible book is right there. Yes, book, download, boom. Listen to the book. We have no excuse, yeah. And stick to it. We have to just stick to it. The tenacity. I'm committed that the greatest things are, happening after we even are on the planet. We have to do the work that we're there. We have to be tenacious while we're here because it has to be done for when we're not here. We just have work to do now. But the compounding return of our work is when we're gone. That's when you get the return on the investment. We're just putting in the work now. We're just putting in the work. That's why we have to love what we do. I love what I do. I wake up on fire. I just wake up. It's a song, I love it. And he says like, when I come in, I bring my fire with me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. I just come in, I'm on fire. I have so much, what irritates me is that I have to turn myself down so much. I'm so tired of having to be turned down. Most of elementary school, most of middle school, most of high school, most of college, most of my life. People don't want you to try to be your most excellent. They don't want that. No, they don't want that. So that's why I love doing my work, because my customers love it. They love it. They know that if there's a problem, I'm going to stay with it till it's done. That's tenacity. Getting it done. Getting it done. I'm just amazed at how many people out here don't care. I was trying to get a problem solved the other day, and this lady, I said, how do you sleep at night? And the lady said, fine. I sleep fine. Right to the customer. I sleep fine. I said, that is really too bad. I said, well, I'm going to have to keep you up tonight because my customers you got to get this done. You're going to have to get this done. And it was a black woman too. We don't need to be. Literally, she needs to be removed. I talk about that in my book. I can't stand us being in the workplace acting like that. You are messing it up for somebody else. And she in there determined to mess it up. You're going to be tenacious for doing bad. At least if you're going to be tenacious, do it for doing good. Why are we determined to do bad? I sleep fine. Where is the, oh my. We got to get committed to excellence. Like, but you've just, I think it's because of that. Like, I was telling my daughter's elementary school principal that. I was like, you all don't encourage these kids to do more. My daughter had done this special project, and she had to go out of her way to do the project. And instead of the teacher giving her extra credit for doing the project, the teacher added it on as an extra assignment or something. So she ended up like getting, basically no credit for doing the extra assignment, even though she had gotten like a special award for writing the song on her cello and all this stuff. And it was a big deal for the entire county. And I was like, so what you all have done is taught my daughter that it doesn't matter if you go out of your way to do more, because it's not going to help. So you're already giving her young mind that it doesn't make a difference what you do. It doesn't make a difference what you do. It doesn't make a difference. And then she says, and then the principal was like, oh, I understand. That's a good point. Blah, blah, blah. But it's true. They're pulling them. They're pulling their hope away by their strategy to make sure that, I don't know what their strategy is. I guess to make sure that everybody else is comfortable or whatever. But why ask them to do special projects if you're not going to acknowledge that and help them move forward? So you're not going to create any audacity, and they're definitely not going to become tenacious or have tenacity or determination or push to do any better or to excel. I don't get it. I don't get it. And then, and even though they understand, it's just stupid. It's like when you go to a restaurant and then they mess up everything and they're rude and they're ignorant. And then they go, oh, well, you're not going to have to pay for so-and-so and so. And I go, let me just make sure that you understand. Nobody, at least myself, did not come out of my house to eat for free. You don't come out of your house to eat for free. You come out of the house, you're going to spend money. So I came out to spend money. So no matter if you give this to me for free or if I accept it for free, it's not going to make a difference. What I came out for was a positive experience, for service, for excellence. So what you're offering me cannot replace my time or my experience. What you've done is you've taken away my evening. So I'd rather pay you and have my time and my experience back. But you can't give me that. You can't give me that. They're kind of condescending because they think, oh, you're black and you're coming here, you're trying to get something for free. Why not come out of my house, get dressed, come in here trying to get something for free? All of that work. So the next time that they do that, make sure you give them that lecture. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come here to get anything for free. I could have stayed home. I came in here to get service, respect, and a good meal. That's what I came. That's why I don't go out to eat. I don't. I'm just committed, tenacity, tenacious, and determined to have good health. And your good health is in your house. I saw somebody on social media and he said, stay home. It's the truth. It is safe at home. it is safer for you at home. Take care of yourself. Be determined about your health. Be determined about that. Have that. Have that about firmly get a commitment to cooking and taking care of your family. Definitely. So the final is willpower. And we're talking about attributes of us as professionals, as entrepreneurs, as, just human beings. That willpower. And I read a book called I think the name of it was like Willpower, and it was just talking about like it just had different scenarios of professionals who just gave in, like who were just at the top of their game and then fell so dramatically. And it was saying like that why they fell apart, why they collapsed, why they broke the law, why they gave in, why their willpower just fell apart at such a point. And it was just just talking about like how it's very just psychological, and I think a lot of it is just how you develop over the years your ability to build yourself, to override your impulses, your ability to become tenacious, to be determined. Like, where does your strength come from? Like, you can't have willpower unless you have internal strength, unless you have the strength of delayed gratification. That's willpower. And there is a study that was done called the marshmallow test of young people, and they actually showed that the young people who were able to exercise the most willpower as little kids were the people who, as adults, like they followed them there as they grew. The people, the ones who had the most willpower as kids were the ones who actually were the most successful as adults. So your willpower is something that has to be developed as a child. And we were talking about this in our members only meeting. We were talking about like how important it is for us to say no, to learn no. I was saying about I had a friend from college who posted about life is short, so you got to buy your shoes now, take your trips now, eat your cake now. And I was like, I'm not eating no cake, because if I die today, I don't want to feel bloated. And I was saying, like, we have to have the willpower that no matter what, I'm not doing nothing that's going to damage myself. No, when I think of sugar, cake, things like that, that's right up there with like crack, cocaine, alcohol. All of that is off the charts for me. I'm not doing it. No, but that takes willpower. That's my level of discipline, and I want more of it. And that's important to me. And I know that the stronger my commitment to discipline and willpower, the stronger I get. But my commitment is, how internally strong can I get? How much muscle development can I get? Because I want to be a peak performance power lifter. I want to be an example of how we can age and get stronger and can stay strong and can stay healthy, God willing. I want to be an example of all that God can do for our life. I want God to be in complete control of my life. I want to be sober and I want to submit to God. I want that to be my relaxation. I want that to be my refuge, God. At the end of a stressful day, I want to go into prayer. I don't want to be at nobody's bar stool. That's my goal. That's my willpower. You know, I don't want to be going around looking for no man. That's my willpower. But that's mine. But that's because I have spent my entire life in that mode. Because I've been an entrepreneur forever. So everything has been, no, I can't do that. 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 Everything is discipline to me. You know, willpower is just, I get off on that. No, having the capacity to override feelings and impulse. Willpower. Having the capacity to put that hand up. Having the capacity to shut it down. Willpower. Entrepreneurs have to have it. Because we're going to have that. You're going to have it. Like, I remember one of our member private meetings, there was a video that went viral, and it was a new restaurant, and there were some people twerking in the restaurant, and the owner came over, and he was like, y'all can't be, he started cussing and talking and fussing at the women, and he was like, y'all can't be twerking in my restaurant, and and put them out. And somebody recorded it, and when people were like joking on the women, but I was like, I can't believe that he let those women take him there. He's the owner. So what type of people do you want to attract to your restaurant? Because you're not going to get me there. I don't want twerking, but I don't want you either. And if I had to choose, I'd rather choose twerking, because eventually she's going to have to sit down. There was only one lady, and you're the one that was playing the twerking music. You didn't have to play the music. So you're playing the music, she's dancing to your music, and then now you cuss her out. And I'm supposed to be talking about her, and she's paying you. She's the paying customer. So now you lost all that money. You put everybody at her table out. She brought all these people with her. But all about, oh my goodness. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know. But he lost his willpower. He lost his willpower. And no matter what, when they say, well, he didn't want that in there, and he didn't want to say that, there's another way. And don't lose your mind when you can control the situation. First, you change your music. Why are you playing that? Change the music. You don't want that? Then play something else. My goodness. That's crazy. I don't know. It seems like a simple fix to me. People respond to what you play. Right, child? Like but he lost it because his willpower was so weak. And he might have been in the kitchen drinking or whatever. He was cussing and all proud that you the owner and I started this and I'm a da. The ego was out of control. And that's still out there somewhere. And anytime anybody is going to want to look it up on him in his restaurant, they're going to see that forever and a day. So the willpower to resist that, when you're like feeling like that, some people just don't. I was talking to, a client that was saying like some people just don't have an off button, and it's something that they need to work on. And if you don't have an off button and the willpower is low, the last thing that you should be doing is anything that will intoxicate you. So people like that need to stay away from anything. Then you need to stay sober and, forever, in my opinion. But you need to stay sober, and build and focus on your willpower. At least until, you have like a lot less interest in not being sober. If you don't want to be sober, then you would have to ask yourself, why don't I want to be sober? I'm an entrepreneur. And it would be very, this would be powerful for me to be sober. And that because this has already been bad for me. And it will improve my willpower. And it will allow me to make better choices, because if you're not, the audacity that will be out of control. Like, audacity as far as like making these big risks and taking these big risks, it only works from a place of sobriety. You have to be very knowledgeable and of sound mind to have audacity, because if not, you're taking irrational risk and you're taking everybody down with you. See, some people want to have audacity and take big risks, but they're in no position to do it. And you want everybody else to finance it. You go, I got this big idea, and you want everyone else to put their money in on it, and you don't have any money. See, that's not big risk. That's not big risk. You're not doing it. That's nothing. That's not risk when you're not taking any. All you are is talking. Audacity is big risk on your part. Nobody else should be taking any risk. This is about you. I remember telling someone that, one time, I was like, I totally get it. They were talking about their business. I was like, I totally get it. Because I started mine. But do yours. Do yours. Do it. Don't expect anybody else to finance your dream. You do yours. If you get someone else that will finance your dream, you will live to appreciate that person. If you don't, you will live to do it. If God willing, you will live to appreciate that person. Because I have never, ever met anyone to do that for me. If you do, you really, better thank God. And there's a lot of people who do, and they don't appreciate them. You better get the audacity to thank the Lord for that person. Yes. And be tenacious about keeping them in your life. Determined, literally. And have the willpower and the discipline to make sure that they're happy. That's going to take some willpower. And you can do it. And you can do it. But I help entrepreneurs all the time. So definitely consider entrepreneurship membership in AfroEconomics. Check out AfroEconomics.com, click on membership, and you will see the information, or go call 1-844-JB-Bryan, and my office will assist you in setting up your membership. There is also a complimentary membership in there, so you can take advantage of the complimentary membership for 30 days and then upgrade to the individual membership so we can work on your financial goals one-on-one together. So you enjoy that. And during the complimentary time, you can also go into the group meetings also. And I have group meetings every Friday morning at 9 a.m. So take advantage of financial empowerment, teamwork. If you have any if you have any questions for me, email me at jb@jbbryan, jb@jbbryan.com. God bless y'all. You know, the entrepreneur mindset, audacity, tenacity, willpower, and love. I'm telling you, I made it up myself. So if you never heard of it, you never will. That came straight from me, JB Bryan. Started my business in 1995. And I have to have all of that and so much more. See you next week. God bless you. Never give up. Never give up. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Noel. Thank you, Miss Davis. You have a great weekend right back. Thank you, Miss Bussy. Thank you, Miss Dixon. Thank you. Oh. Yes, indeed. The website. Here's my email. There we go. So you'll have it in the great. Take care.